Hey, what's up guys? Houston here. Look, if you have a new LLC, all right, and you're trying to figure out where do I start to get my first business credit card, all right? Now, you have to understand there are 4 tiers when it comes to business credit cards and business funding, okay? So, what I mean by that is that most people, when they start out as a new LLC, the first thing they'll do is probably run to a credit union to open up a bank account. And I tell people, don't do that. And the reason you want to do that, most people, if they have a relationship with Navy Federal, they'll run there, okay? But here's the thing about it. Navy Federal does not help you build your business credit. Yes, you can get a business credit card with them, okay, and a business loan with him with no revenue with a brand new company. That's true. However, if you're going to have any type of business transactions and things of that nature, you have to understand any type of deposits and stuff, they're not reporting that to the business credit bureaus, all right? So Navy Federal is a tier 3, all right? Let's get this out of the way so you can understand this. So with Navy Federal, all right, you're going to need 2 credit scores, right? All right, you're gonna need your internal score. Your internal score goes from 100 up to 450, right? And so for those of you that's been following me, you know how to get an internal score, all right? Now, your internal score is only good for credit cards. Now with Navy Federal, they pull your Experian FICO 9, all right? So that's your first score, all right? If those of you that want me to explain the internal score or whatever, I'll gladly do it. But right now, I just want to make clear of what you're actually looking at when dealing with Navy Federal. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 is having at least a 660 credit score. Okay, that's another thing. You have to have at least a 660 credit score. Now, there's something else with Navy Federal that a lot of people overlook, and that is the NAICS code.
Understanding you.
Okay, so with the NAICS code, what it is that if you choose the wrong NAICS code, more likely a high-risk NAICS code. As a matter of fact, I got a video that's coming out that'll tell you like the best NAICS codes in order to get qualified for funding. But this is very important because if you choose the wrong NAICS code, they will not even open up your business checking account. Okay, they won't even open up the business checking account. So that's something you also have to consider when dealing with Navy Federal. That being said, some of the other institutions that may be a little more flexible if you may have a high risk NAICS code is like with Bank of America. Okay, so here's the thing about it with Bank of America. Bank of America is not my fundest bank. And the reason is, granted, they would probably choose like, pull like a TransUnion FICO 8 or Experian FICO 8. But my problem with Bank of America, if you are a brand new LLC, then they may check to see if you have a Dun & Bradstreet file, okay? So if you don't have a Dun & Bradstreet file, then what they're gonna do, especially if you're brand new, you're going to be put in this box, okay? And so with this box, because you're an LLC, they're going to limit you to the amount of funding. They may start you out with like a $5,000 credit card. So where Navy Federal may give you $15,000 to $25,000, Bank of America is going to start you out with $5,000. So that Bank of America is a tier 1. Okay, that's also something that a lot of people don't understand. They are a tier 1. So in terms of what's on the credit file really matters. So if you done added authorized users, if you added rental payments, if you added utilities, if you added subscriptions to your credit file, they do not calculate that. Versus with Navy Federal, they will take that into consideration that influences your credit score. All right, so that's something that you need to understand as well. Now, here's the thing about it with Bank of America. They will allow you to get up to 3 business credit cards. I would tell you, if you're going to be dealing with Bank of America, when you open up the business checking account, make sure that you try to put at least $500 in that business checking account. Now, the reason why I'm telling you to do that is because you want to start building a relationship. Now, when you have bad credit, they do have a secured business credit card. Now, with that secured business credit card, they want you to put at least $1,000 on that card, right? So that's something you also have to consider. Now, they do report to Equifax and Small Business Financial Exchange. All right. Now, Small Business Financial Exchange is very important that a lot of people are not even aware of. But we're not going to get into that. Like I said, I have another video coming out that's going to really dive deep into that one. Now, the next business credit card, if you have a new LLC, is what you want to look at is with U.S. Bank. Now, with U.S. Bank, they usually pull your TransUnion FICO 9, okay? Now, here's the thing about it that you need to understand. When you go into U.S. Bank, you want to make sure you open up the Silver Business Checking Account, okay? And then you do not want to apply right away, all right? You want to wait 30 days. Now, the business credit card you want to go after is their platinum card. The reason is because it gives you 18 months of 0 interest, okay? And with U.S. Bank, they're going to give you convenience checks, right? So with those convenience checks, they will allow you, say that they give you $30,000. They will allow you to use those convenience checks at 0% to transfer that money over to your regular checking account. And that way, like say you're trying to start a business like Toro, or you needed some money to buy some furniture for like your Airbnb, right? So they will do that. Oh, by the way, for you guys that are in Airbnb, I'm going to tell you a hack that's going to help you. If you are furnishing Airbnb, many people are not aware that the Habitat of Humanities, they have a store. And so with their store, they get big discounts on furniture, supplies, and stuff like that. So that may be one of your better ways to actually furnish a store with brand new items and stuff and not paying a premium price for it. So that's one thing. If this is something that's helpful, leave a comment below, because I promise you, most people have never ever heard of this here Habitat of Humanity store, okay? But this is a store, it's all over the place because the Habitat of Humanity is the people from Jimmy Carter. They build houses and stuff like that, and they give them to poor people, right? The thing about it is they actually do have stores that sell furniture and stuff like that. And that's one of the cheapest places you can actually buy brand new items and stuff to furnish a store, all right? So I hope that helps you. Now, going back to U.S. Bank, look, you also can get a business credit card through U.S. Bank sister company, Elon Financial. Now, the one that I would tell you to do if you open up an Edward Jones investment account, okay? It's fairly cheap to open it up. Then apply for the Elon Financial. Now, they are FICO 9 as well, okay? Now, here's the thing about it. I would tell you, when you applying for a business credit card with U.S. Bank, starting with U.S. Bank before we get into Elon Financial, the thing about it is, by you being brand new, you want to keep it under $25,000, all right? Just don't go over $25,000. Trust me on this, right? Because the reason is every 6 months, what they're going to do, they're going to evaluate your account, and every 6 months, they're going to give you a credit limit increase. And they'll keep on doing that up to $50,000 as long as you use the card, all right? And the reason I'm choosing these like FICO 9 scoring cards is because I'm trying to give you the best cards that make it so much easier for you to apply for and to have better leverage, to put more money in your pocket, especially when starting your new LLC. Now, you also have Wells Fargo, all right? Now, here's the killer thing about Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo uses Experian FICO 9 for all their business credit card. Unfortunately, I only have one, and that's to simplify. Now, the best thing about Wells Fargo, just like U.S. Bank, is that they will actually give you convenience checks to liquidate whatever amount on the card as well. Okay, so you can actually have access to this cash. Then, as you continue to use the card, then what they'll do, they will offer you a line of credit with no hard pull on it. All right, so the line of credit they're usually going to offer you is the Advantage line of credit. Now, with this Advantage line of credit, it goes up to $50,000. All you need is a 680 credit score. All right, so that's something that you should take into consideration. Going back to Elon Financial that I mentioned, like I said, if you open up the Edward Jones investment account, then apply for their business credit card with Elon Financial, you'll still get the 0% interest. I think it's for 15 or I think it's like 15 or 18 months of 0% interest. Plus, they will give you convenience checks for that card as well. So that way, like I said, if you're trying to grow your business, you need extra money and stuff like that to keep to get your LLC in charge and stuff like that. Excuse me, your LLC. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. To be able to fund your LLC for outside investments and stuff like that, these are the best cards to use. All right, and like I said, with U.S. Bank, it's a tier 1 as well. Elon Financial is looked at as a tier 1, but it can fall under tier 2, okay, because it's using Experian FICO 9. Now, another tier 1 is American Express. Now, here's the thing about it, so you can understand about your brand new LLC going after business credit cards. When you have a newly established company, more likely is to understand that, like with American Express, right? So you have to get a personal credit card first. Then you're gonna get the apply for the business credit card. All right. Now, here's the thing that people are not aware of. All right, let's just say you want 5 American Express revolving credit cards. Well, here's the thing that stops people from getting that 5 revolving. Like, you can get multiple charge cards, but when it comes to revolving cards, they only allow you 5. And what will stop you from getting 5 revolving cards is that they have this thing. If you have a savings account or a checking account with them, those qualify as revolving accounts. So then if you have a checking account, so now you're only going to qualify for just 4 of their revolving cards, right? Now, with American Express, they report to Small Business Financial Exchange as well as U.S. Bank, okay? So that's something that you also need to know. And like I said, with American Express being a tier 1, is a FICO 8 Experian most of the time. Okay, sometimes if you're brand new, they'll pull both TransUnion and Experian. Now, the good thing about American Express, every 90 days, all right, they will allow you to apply for a credit limit increase. Now, with the credit limit increase, you do not want to go over, it's up to 3 times. So if they give you 5,000, multiply that times 3, you want to request a credit limit increase up to 15,000. All right. So you don't want to go over that 3 times. So that's the reason. And you can do that every 90 days for a credit limit increase. All right. Now, the next credit card you want to look at, and I like this here bank as well, and it's PNC Bank. Now, here's another thing. When you open up the PNC business account, I would definitely encourage you to open up the personal account as well. Now with PNC, they're going to I would tell you use about $500 to open up that account. Now, here's the thing about it. For some of you all like, well, where I'm gonna get $500 from, you know, to do this or whatever. You can go to Low Credit Finance. They won't do a hard pull on your credit. They go up to $50,000 in personal loans and apply for a loan with them. Then take $500 of that money, because that loan is not reporting on your personal credit, and open up these bank accounts that I'm telling you to open up, right? So that's the reason why I'm telling you it's just a certain strategy to use in order to leverage. Now, again, with PNC, that $500 is to avoid the fees. That's what it is. It's mainly to avoid the fees, all right? But the good part about it with PNC, not only when they give you that business credit card, after 6 months, you can also go after their business line of credit with no hard pull. And they pull Experian, FICO 9 as well. Most of these banks, they're really on a relationship. So PNC is a regional bank, so they're on a tier 2, all right? So then you have Truist, okay? So with Truist, here's the thing about it with Truist. Truist is one of those bankruptcy friendly, okay? Like with some banks, if you've recently coming out or you're less than 2 years old on a bankruptcy, they don't want to touch you. They want you to wait at least 3 to 4 years before they actually work with you. Well, with Truist, they're like 2 years or less to work with you in order to get a card, all right? Now, also in reference to the credit score. So with their credit score, your minimum credit score to have with them is the average about a 620, 650. Now, here's the thing about it. I would tell you guys, with Truist, you have to be very careful because, granted, they will give you a business credit card, okay, with an average and low 600 credit score. However, when you try to go for that loan or that line of credit, I always tell people stay away from the loans. Too much red tape. Go for the line of credit, and they won't do a hard pull on the credit. But be careful, because sometimes if you don't have a 4506T to show proof of income and stuff like that, then they may shut your account down. So you have to be very careful with some of these institutions, all right? Now, the next one we're talking about is Citizens Bank, okay? So with Citizens Bank, they just started getting brand new cards, all right? So now with Citizens Bank, they're also doing a no hard pull. You can do a no hard pull hack with their cards. So what that means is that you can do a pre-approval. All right, Citizens use FICO 8, and this also is usually for people that are brand new. Okay, these for people that are brand new to Citizens and stuff. They'll do a pre-approval. Once you see the pre-approval and the amount that they actually qualify you for, then the next thing what ends up happening is that after the pre-approval, you can lock your file and apply for that. Okay, and sometimes it'll end up without being a hard inquiry on the file. All right, I know this is a long video, but I appreciate you guys rocking with me, and I just wanted to give you some data insight, especially if you're working with a new LLC and you trying to find out what's the best credit cards and stuff. Like I said, with many of these here businesses, with many of these banking institutions, I always tell you to start with either your tier 2 or tier 3, which is your regional, institutions, your community banks, as well as your credit unions, being your tier 3. Now, here's the thing about it. You do, or you should still have a tier 1 bank. And the main tier 1 banks I always tell you to have is Citibank, Chase Bank, or Capital One, because those are the ones that are going to report most of your business transactions to the business credit bureaus. All right, that's one of the things that most people miss out on, and so they'll do a lot of transactions with these regional and community banks or credit union. So those transactions are not being reported through all of the business credit bureaus. Don't worry about Dun and Bradstreet. That's not even a factor when it actually comes to funding. However, the other institutions really play a role in terms of what you're going to qualify for. If you have any questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off the credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.